Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 15 of Calisthenics Endurance, and well, today we have a small little planche workout, just like last week. But when it comes to these planche workouts, if you're training the planche and you're stuck on a plateau, you might want to try something similar to what I'm doing today. My goal might be different, but it can be used to break through plateaus because at the moment my focus is push ups, and so I am constantly exhausted, or not exhausted, that's an exaggeration. I'm tired from doing push-ups, right? And so my goal is not to really improve in the planche, but rather to maintain it. And that's why a couple times a week I do a light planche workout where perhaps I go to about 70% maximum effort, right? It's not to the max, it's quite comfortable, but still it's a good stimulus to maintain the planche. And you're perhaps thinking to yourself, well, by doing light planche workouts, how the hell am I gonna get out of my plateau? Well, here's the catch, right? Every week I am doing more push-ups. So even if I do the same amount of planche work, eventually I'm gonna become stronger because every week I'm doing the same stuff, but the situation is different, right? I have more push-ups in my system. I did more push-ups in that week. I did more volume. My body is technically doing more work, being more tired or adapting to the work, right? And still doing the planche stuff. And so in that sense, I'm progressing. And it's very important when you're at a plateau to not too quickly think to yourself like, holy hell, I did everything I could. I've tried everything. I guess I should just take a break for a while, right? You've never tried everything, right? You can always try something new, and a plateau is just your body that's waiting for a new stimulus. So if you're like lost and you don't know what to do anymore, you might as well give this a go. Do your planche workout, maintain it for a little while, right? Don't go overboard, focus on technique, don't go too hard. And in the meantime, like perhaps pre exhaust yourself with something else. It doesn't have to be upper body, right? You can do your push ups, of course, but you can also do pull ups, you can do dips, which is all upper body, but you can also do squats, right? And you can do running, and you can just make yourself tired in any measurable way and improve that volume week by week. And after a couple of weeks, perhaps you will notice like, hey, I'm doing the same planche workout, but I'm way more tired. Now let's put all of that other exercise away. Let's stop doing it. All of a sudden, you're going to be recovered and perhaps have the energy to push through your plateau. That's kind of the idea here. You see me doing push ups before the planche workout. Like, that doesn't make sense. I've mentioned this before as well. Like, when you're doing like planche skill work and basics, do the basics afterwards because planche requires more energy. So it's logical to do it first. And yet here I am doing some push-ups before my planche workout. Like, how does this work? Yeah, why am I doing this? Well, I guess it's never black and white, right? There's always a reason to do something a certain way. And today, yeah, I had a good reason to try some push-ups before my planche workout. But anyway, let's cut to the planche workout itself. All right, quick tuck planche. Doing some supine in the planche today because that's my weak spot, and I feel like I'm not gonna progress in the actual full planche on parallettes, which I'm stronger at anyway, so I might as well work on my weak spot. So today, working on some holds in the supinated planche on the floor, starting with tuck planche because it's light, and so as the sets go on, I will just do some heavier stuff, going into what feels appropriate for me today. So yeah, let's go. I think I will probably do about 4 to 5 sets of planche holds. All right, moved on from holds to some push-ups with weight on my back. It's feeling heavy, but I feel like, after doing statics, it's also important to do some dynamic stuff. If you're learning the planche, if you're only doing holds and nothing but holds, your progress is gonna be slow and eventually, diminish, vanish even. You will stop progressing. But if you do some dynamics as well, perhaps some push-ups or some presses, then yeah, progress is gonna be way better. So that's why I always mix the two. I try to do some holds and some static stuff and some dynamic stuff into my workout. So yeah, let's go. Two more sets. All right, last planche set. Let's go a bit harder. All right, 8 reps. That's good enough for today. It's more weight than last week, so don't worry, I'm not getting bigger. Anyway, I'm gonna finish up the workout with my sets of push-ups. Today I did 3 sets of push-ups before I even started the workout. It's about 8:30 a.m. at the moment, and I'm gonna do the remaining 2 sets. Let's go. Okie dokie, so that's gonna be it for today's trading, and well, very happy with how it went because with all of these light planche workouts, I'm kind of able to focus on technique, and I feel like once the goal is over with the push-ups and I get some more breathing room, I remove my volume or I reduce my volume again. I'm gonna have more energy, and I feel like that's gonna be kind of a start of new progress in the planche. But in the meantime, I'm doing these holds, I'm doing these push-ups. I'm trying to focus on quality, but here and there mixing a little bit of intensity as well. And that's the way I'm maintaining my strength at the moment. But aside from maintaining what I'm doing at the moment, I'm also increasing what I'm doing on the side. I'm doing more cycling, I'm doing more push-ups, I'm doing some one-arm pull-ups, I'm doing all of this training besides the planche that is also making me tired. And so I'm doing basically the same amount of planche with less energy. And that is also in a sense, progress. Is it the best way? Probably not, right? There is not a single best way to progress or push past plateaus. In my opinion, it's just a matter of, trying new stuff, stimulating your body in new ways. And yeah, basically finding a way around where you're stuck at the moment. You're hitting a wall, right? And you have like you can try and break through it by just pushing forward, but oftentimes the wall is gonna be too strong. But if you take a step back and look around, perhaps you will see that you can actually go around it, right? And perhaps that will be faster in long terms, right? Even though it might feel a bit slower at first. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's training, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for a push-up day, and it might be the last week of preparation for 10 sets of 100, so that's exciting.